There's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
My wonderful mother, who's also a subscriber and a patron, is here. Mom, please introduce yourself.
And I'm in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and I've lived here most of my life. All right, I'm a Patreon, and one of the ones that I'm picking up the story that Sean reads, because I used to be the reader to him, so it's kind of fun to have it the other way around. Yeah, nice to see you all. Oh, and Peg, just so good to see you.
Yes, I really want us to meet again. I
know.
I think you'd be a great book friend for me. Come to Pennsylvania.
I'd love to.
I actually do have a channel, but I've been absent for a while. I've been on here. Sean was the first person I met when I joined in, I believe, 2018. And I have always loved book prizes. And it used to be hard to follow them. You couldn't, I'd have to get a New York paper to see what won the American Book Awards and everything. And slowly but surely it's especially with the web, it's easier to find out book prizes in other countries. And so I made my name was Peg, the Book Prize Addict. And I had so much fun reading all the different book prizes.
You do make an appearance erratically and episodically, and happy to see you whenever you make an appearance. So that's fabulous. Let's go to another book prize addict, Alex. Alex, tell us more about yourself.
Okay, so I also had a booktube channel for a bit. I couldn't keep it up. I didn't have the energy that Sean does. And I guess I do follow book prizes, and I followed them for a while. But in terms of, I'm not as diligent or as obsessive as some people who follow every single prize or try to read the long list from every single one. But for me, the Booker is definitely my favorite. And that one I tried to, and I've tried to do the women's prize. I have done that in years past as well.
And I haven't heard any mention of your famous podcast yet. Come on.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I do. I should. Okay, so I do have a podcast. I'm on the editorial board of the Hamilton Review of Books, which is a small online magazine. It used to be, I think, print, based out of Hamilton, mostly focused on our own literary scene. And so I started a podcast about a year ago. So we've had about 7 episodes. It's gone pretty well, I think. Sean, I know you've listened to a bunch of episodes, and it seems to be attracting a lot of people to the site. Whenever you do these things, you just assume no one's ever going to listen to them, and you're just talking for yourself. But it looks like some people have liked it. So,
and Sonya, I think you have about 3,000 things going on today too. So let's do you next.
Okay.
Sonya.
I started a booktube channel about 4 years ago, and I sporadically post, I'd say maybe once a month or twice a month, post an update of what I'm doing. I've done a bunch of buddy reads with Sean. We've been reading Edna O'Brien for a while now, and that's been so fun. And I just stick to kind of what I'm reading. I read literary fiction mostly and memoir. So my channel grows very slowly, but I'm very happy with where it is right now.
Your channel is awesome. It's one of my very favorites. And you're a buddy reader extraordinaire.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, we're having our next Edna O'Brien buddy read starting in January.
Yes.
Right. Thank you. And
I want to ask a question about buddy reading. When you guys do that, do you get on Zoom and talk to each other, or do you just check into what's the other Discord or whatever? Or it seems to go so smoothly for everybody. Everybody seems to love it. So tell me your method.
I don't like putting my makeup on for a buddy read check-in. So no, we don't do it on Zoom. But Voxer.
Yeah, that works great. I think Voxer is great.
Uh-huh.
I have never been able to get my head around these Discord servers. It sounds too complicated for me. Let's hear more about Melanie, because I am meeting Melanie for the first time today.
Well, hello. Yes, I'm meeting you for the first time also in person. I don't have a channel or anything, for heaven's sake. I feel a little bit like a hypocrite or something because I actually haven't been reading that much for the last year or so. But I decided to definitely jump on the Sean's Patreon circus because in 2020, I started, I never heard of BookTube before early 2020 when the pandemic was just getting started. And people like Sean and my other favorites are Britta and Melanie Martin, who I just adore, and Sean. And really was like a lifeline during the pandemic, getting kind of theory about it. But so I read a great deal in 2020 and 2021 and just been doing other things mostly this year. Try to read a little bit, but my concentration has really changed in the last 3 years. And I used to read I used to have, 8 or 10 books going, history and biography and literature. And gosh, I don't know, my brain has just changed. I should mention Barbara Pym. I really sort of knew Sean was, let me see.
Obsessed.
In sync. No, I was going to say soulmate, but I'll say kind of in sync with me when I heard him talking about Barbara Pym, who I had kind of forgotten about. And I have, in the last couple of years, I've reread all of her novels twice. And I had read them in the 80s or something. And that kind of, my Barbara Pym obsession in 2020 kind of led me to Dean Street, a whole bunch of their publications. And that's kind of my level of concentration. I'll just say that.
Well, we are definitely sisters in that way, because I love women's fiction of that era. Yeah, Barbara Pym being number one. But as I said on my Friday reads the other day, I think that she's being rivaled by Elizabeth Jane Howard, because I'm starting my third novel by her and absolutely loving it. Have you read her?
Yes.
Melanie? Yeah. Very different than Barbara Pym, but just incredible. So, how lovely to have you here. And that's a great topic for discussion, reading slumps, because I was on about a 20-year reading slump just up until about 2 years before I started my channel. So I hear you. I hear you. Mary, tell us a little more about yourself.
Well, I don't have a channel, as was no surprise, I guess. You can't see me now. And I've been listening to you for years. I came across you on Reading Envy, and I was like, I wasn't really listening to or watching BookTube then. I think probably because at work I was so much on the computer that the last thing I wanted to do was get on the computer again when I came home and do that. But you were one I watched, and then you led me to like Cousin and Britta and like Janet Remembered Reads. Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoy watching BookTube, and I have way too many books on my TBR, but I don't care. I read everything, not just literature, but you brought me to a lot of good literature. Right now I'm reading Alberta and Jacob, which you had recommended.
Yes.
And also, what's her name? Sharon Butala.
Yes.
Gates of the Slum. She's a Canadian writer, but the Prairies.
Yes.
So I'm enjoying those two.
Wonderful. That's music to my ears. I'd like to say a little bit about Reading Envy. For those of you that don't know, Reading Envy was a bookish podcast that ran for 7 or 8 years, and its host was Jenny. And I was a guest on Reading Envy 3 times, I think. And Jenny and I were friends. And Jenny died very suddenly last year, young. She was maybe 40. So it's just been a real in the bookish community, because her podcast was very popular. She was well known. And if you go to any book on Goodreads, she has a review on it. Jenny Reading Envy. You'll see it now that I've mentioned. If you put her name in your mind, she's just was a huge presence in the bookish community, and we miss her very much. And Alina.
Okay, hi. I don't have a channel, and I don't think I want a channel. I mean, I have thought about it, and I think, no, I just want to read and do other, and work. I work, and I don't really think spending time making a video is what I want to do with books. So I do once in a while. I have done a couple of things with Sean, 2, 3.
2 or 3 on my bite-sized book chats. Yes,
and I did. Of course, I did the flip one.
Oh, right.
Flip the camera.
Flip. That's right.
Yeah. So and I thought that was fun, but I love reading, and I have 2 hobbies with books. One is reading, and the other one is looking things about books up. Finding books, reading about books, buying books. So I have an enormous books that I have not read, but I don't feel bad about it. They are my books, and I want them, and I want them. I'm not. I want them. So I read
You
a
are
lot.
my sister.
Yeah, I read a lot. I read in 3 languages, considering. So I read in my first language. No, my first language would be Spanish, but it's the one I read. I read English the most, because that's the word you get the most of, But I live in the Netherlands, so I read. I do know Dutch, so I read Dutch. I do Spanish, and I read English. Right.
Wow. Wow.
But I read a lot of different things. I read a lot of literature. I don't read very often new releases. One of my books for next year is going to be Shaggy Bane, for example. So
Good for you.
Yeah. So
Good for you. That's fantastic.
Me. Yeah.
Certainly not least, my mom, Helen.
Hi, everybody. Yeah. Well, I have to say, it's been a wonderful time in our lives to have Sean back in Canada, and just living across a golf course from us. And so I've been able to be much more in touch with the amount of interest and work and all the things that he does with books. And so that's been kind of really right up front for the last 7 or 8 months that he's been here. Now, I'm always reading something. I'm not part of the book community as such. I read an eclectic kind of group of books. I kind of have a tendency to pick up things that are maybe topical at the time, or so I'll read books that'll be memoirs of people that are currently in the news or in the politics or whatever. I do some of that, but my favorites are when I can get an author and the author does a whole series of books with the same characters in it. That's always been a favorite of mine. And so I do a lot of that. But in the meantime, there's a lot of other things in between. And of course, Sean is always introducing me to something new. I'm always saying, oh, yes, I'd like that. So I've read the Barbara Pym books too, because, and I do quite like them. But there's, I have quite an array of different things. It's novel, biography, memoir. We are busy. We are busy with Sean back in Saskatoon. It's kept us really, and we've been Reg and I have been so happy to have him here. It's just it's been wonderful.
High maintenance.
High maintenance.
Are you still knitting?
Yes, I'm still
Oh.
knitting, Peg.
Oh,
Yes.
we need to get together.
Hey, I knit too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Hey,
Wow.
wow.
I have a feeling this party's just been hijacked by the knitters.
Don't knit.
That's great. Mom,
Yes,
your favorite
yes.
series, or the one that you are really into in recent years, is what's her name? The mystery writer,
Louise Penny.
Louise Penny.
Are you talking to me? Yeah.
Yes.
Louise Penny. Yeah. I'm right in the middle of A World of Curiosities. Yeah.
Mm.
But somebody mentioned Sharon Butella. I've read everything Sharon Butella's ever written.
Yeah.
She's been a favorite. All kinds of people and so on and so forth. But I do like mysteries. So
Me too.
Yeah, it's good to get all your stuff about mysteries talked about here, because I will never mention them on my channel.
we know.
We have a new arrival here, Katie. I'm going to put you on big screen. If hope that doesn't make you
Oh,
self-conscious.
hi.
Hello,
Hi.
Katie is joining us from Edmonton.
Yeah,
Oh,
hi.
hi.
Thanks for having me. Sorry I'm late.
What kind of a reader are you, Katie? I don't know much about you, so yeah, tell us about Katie the reader.
Good question. What do I like to read? Well, I probably read about 60% fiction, 40% nonfiction. Usually like fairly contemporary reading, but like anywhere from about 1950 onwards, although occasionally earlier in the century, probably not much before 1900. So I like to pick up anything nonfiction, usually like feminist stuff. I'm reading an essay collection right now called This Has Always Been a War by a queer Ontario native who is talking about like working class queers and a bunch of essays about that.
Who is that? I don't know that book.
Lori Fox, Lori Fox. Picked it up at one of the bookstores here, and yeah, it's good so far. The essays are more personal than I expected them to be, but are obviously well researched. The one I'm reading right now is about sort of dystopian fiction, recent feminist dystopian fiction, and the lack of queer representation in it. So it's been pretty good. But yeah.
Can I show the pictures? Can I show
Absolutely.
That'll be great.
Okay,
Yes.
most of you know, or if you knew Sean long ago, he lived in Japan, and when we first met online, he was talking about his wedding coming up, and I just liked him. I mean, we seemed to like the same kind of books. There weren't that many people on BookTube then, and I decided I would knit him. I love knitting a Unity rainbow blanket, and I worked on it. I showed it on my channel and everything. Then I got to thinking, I don't want to send this in the mail. I'm going to go to his wedding. So I sort of invited myself to his wedding. I thought maybe, I could bring the black blanket. And I did. It was one of the most wonderful experiences of my life, both being in Canada and Saskatoon and meeting his family. So I just got a few pictures here I thought I'd share with you. Here's the first one. Oh, I don't know if it's. Anyway, that's the blanket I
That's the
knitted.
blanket.
That's Sean and Kenji and me. They were so appreciative. He even hung it they had a huge banquet one night, and he hung it from the table in there. It was really, really special for me. Okay, let's see. Oh, then we partied. We partied a lot while we were there. The next night, we went to a cocktail party, I think, or something. And he and Kenji presented me with this lovely little Japanese screen, which you will see. I always keep right up. Where is it? I don't see it now. Oh, I thought it was.
There it is.
Right behind me, which I love dearly. Okay, now let's see. I have just a couple more pictures to show. Now, I thought this would be a surprise. Well, but since Helen's here, I won't say anything about her. But when they got married, Kenji didn't have his family there. So Helen, Sean's mother, walked in with him. And she also, I understand, I think she's administered Helen, right? Anyway, she did the service. And then here is,
Sean.
Yeah, there is Sean walking in with his father. Oh, lights. Anyway, isn't he handsome? The father. His father was wonderful too. I really liked them both. And then we have one last picture after the ceremony. There's the happy couple.
That's really
Nice. Thank you.
Wonderful.
That was great.
Great.
Brings back a lot of memories.
What a happy time.
It just takes us right back, Peg. It was a lovely time, wasn't it? It really was.
Yeah, it really was.
A very, very special occasion and event. Yeah, it was. I think there were 60 people invited, and I think everybody felt like they'd been to a very special time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was special to all of us, the family, and yeah. But,
and he had a whole table of people that he never met in real life, that he had met on different book social medias. There was somebody from Bookstagram, Lindy, who now does Magpie Reads, and Leah, he mentions often, and his professor from college. Well, she'd seen him before, but most of us at the table had never met him in person before. It was great.
I thought that maybe the next topic would be what's your book of the year? Or just if that's too much pressure, some people don't like that question. What's your book of the year? But just a book that you've read recently and loved. So I will put the list of books and authors up. First meeting recorded for posterity. So, Elba, please meet my mother, Helen.
Hi, Elba.
Hi, Ellen.
Nice to meet you.
Encantada de conocerla. I'm enchanted to meet you.
Oh,
I've been looking forward to it. Ever since Sean mentioned it, I've got to go.
Did I see you on a book chat with Sean? Is that what it was that I was so yeah. I too was enchanted with you. So it's wonderful to meet you.
Thank you so much. I don't know what it was that caught your attention, but I'm happy to meet you and finally see the person behind all the blouses and all the and all the good stuff, the goodies that get, toward Sean, that reaches Sean. Yeah.
My fairy godmother, among other things. And this is Ellen, Elba, and Ellen is joining us from Wellington, New Zealand, and Elba is joining from Puerto Rico.
Wow, New Zealand. Helen is in Canada, and Ellen is in New Zealand, and I'm in Puerto Rico. I love the way Sean brings people from all around the world. That is just fascinating to me, Sean. That's a gift. That's a gift that you've given BookTube, because until you started doing these book chats, it was basically same old, right? And the fact that you can bring so many people together and so many different styles of readers and books and genres, that to me is just fascinating, and it's a true gift of community to BookTube. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate what you've done on BookTube.
That's lovely. Your check is in the mail. I'm gonna use that little clip on video for this. So
okay. Very good. Very good.
And I should say that Elba is not an official patron, but she is more than an honorary patron. She's just showering me with sporadic
Beautiful
donations
words.
and just wonderful. Yeah. So
yeah. The thing is that I already have some Patreon accounts. And I don't subscribe to that, to the idea that I have to receive something, for the act of donating, right? If I donate, it's because I want to, not because I want to receive something from you. And because I'm already receiving from you more than what I could have asked for, right? I would never have thought when I first started following you, first of all, just the name, right? The Book Maniac. Just the name is different and original, right? And then your personality, just ebullient. Is that how you say it? Ebullient.
I think it is. I don't really know either, but
right, personality. But then when you started doing these book chats, the mini book chats, I said, whoa, this is something else. This is really, really original, right? That's all I wanted to say. That's it.
Well,
no more
that's lovely.
speeches.
You're very eloquent. You are very eloquent, Elba. Yeah.
I've been reading a lot. I've been reading a lot,
great.
Helen.
Well, just because there's a few of us, I'll tell you about Sean and Kenji's wedding. When you talk about people from around the world and an eclectic group of people, we had people from Australia and Japan and the States, Philadelphia, and all over Canada.
That was Peg, the book prize addict. Yeah.
Yeah, Peg was at that. And then there was the Calgary people and the Edmonton people, and it was quite the event. It was people from all around. Yeah. It was just kind of a never to be forgotten kind of thing.
Exactly. I started subscribing a little bit after the wedding, if I'm not mistaken. So I missed most of the gala and the details about it, but I can definitely remember Peggy talking about the wedding. I remember you guys even went to a bookstore, I think it was, right?
That's right.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Bookstore.
And yeah, that was great. Yeah, I love that whole thing.
The ones that were the bookers, the bookish people went to the bookstore because there was people there was a lot of book people, and then there was also
people that
from the gay communities, and then there was like people from Sean's our little town, so there was farmers, and it was quite a group. Yeah, it was.
Some of the bookish people, in fact, most of the bookish people that were there, I had never met them until they came to my wedding. Lindy, Leah, and Peg. I had never met them face to face until they came to the wedding. So it was
special.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Memories.
So are you celebrating are you celebrating the holidays?
Yep. Gonna have a family Christmas with mom and dad and the family, so that'll be nice. I'm not quite a Scrooge, but Christmas is. I think that in my youth, I used to get depressed at Christmas time, and I think that's why I don't get depressed at Christmas anymore. But it's always kind of made me not such a Christmas person. But I still love, my policy on Christmas is I don't think that it should be by law. You shouldn't be able to play any Christmas music until Christmas Eve. And then by law, you couldn't play it after Boxing Day, because for those 3 days, I'm as much into the spirit as most people. Yeah. So I know I'm looking forward to Christmas with the family.
What's Boxing Day?
Oh, yes. The Boxing Day is a peculiarly UK. And do you have it in New Zealand, Ellen?
We do.
Yeah, December 26th. And in modern culture, in modern Canada, all it is it's a big shopping day.
Yeah,
but it is a holiday from the businesses. The businesses get a holiday on Boxing Day, Christmas Day and Boxing Day. But I have to say, Christmas for me is so much about family, and we have not had Sean and Kenji home for 3 years. So this year is the first time in 3 years. So we're pretty excited about it. Very sorry that Kenji can't be here, but I'm just excited to have Sean here with the rest of the family.
I know it. Maybe you can Zoom a Kenji for a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be minus 22 here on Christmas Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
So it's going to be very cold this week. But
Yes,
this is very typical. It's the longest night of the year, and in this part of the hemisphere, it's the longest night of the year, and the sun gets up about 9, quarter after 9, 20 after 9 in the morning, and it goes down about 20 to 5.
Oh,
so it really is the longest nights of the year, the 21st of December, which is just now, soon, very soon.
Let's compare weather reports. So right now in Saskatoon, it's minus 20. With the wind chill, feels more like minus 32 at 2:30 in the afternoon. How about in Puerto Rico? Not Portugal, Puerto Rico.
I'm checking. 81.
Oh my goodness.
81 Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. I'm sorry.
Heidi is on her way.
Oh, good. There's Heidi.
Heidi is here.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, Heidi.
Hi.
Better late than never.
Honestly, I had a reminder set on my phone and we were wrapping Christmas presents and I forgot the time and I looked at my phone and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot the Zoom party again.
Oh, no problem. We just spent the last 45 minutes trading Heidi gossip back and forth. So we've been having a grand old time.
Perfect.
So you know Elba, obviously, and you have met my mom before, but not for a long time.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi there. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Hey.
And the person who I don't think you know is above you, if we all have the same configuration. Right above you is Ellen from Wellington, New Zealand.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Ellen, I don't know if you know Heidi's channel. Her channel is My Reading Life. And I talk about her in almost every video because we've been doing back-to-back buddy reads since about 1958.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Something like that.
Heidi was the first channel I subscribed to. When I discovered BookTube, Heidi was the first channel that I found, and it was the first channel that I subscribed to. I couldn't believe that that BookTube existed. And when I said, what? That's it.
My people.
I was hooked.
She's my people.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember how old is your channel, Heidi?
Well, I think
I'm
about
5
4
and a half
years old.
years. Oh, you did come after. Then I must have discovered you soon after you started.
When did you start, Sean?
5.5 years ago.
Well,
I'll pull you right up. I'll look you up right up.
I think I started before you, actually. Yeah. Because I knew you, Sean, from Litzy before, and then I was like, oh, he's on YouTube too.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And Heidi and along with Doris of Aldi Books have been running a naturalist book club, which I love. I haven't participated nearly as much as I have wanted to, but I'm certainly a big honor of it. And even though at first I was excited because I thought it was a book nudity club, but it wasn't that. But it's still wonderful. So, and you've just put out your list for 2023 reading list. You got a bunch of good stuff coming up.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, so it's been really fun. This will be the 3rd year that we've been running that. And we've got a good rotation of, we try to hit like all the different themes for each month of the year. So like Black History Month, Irish Readathon in March, just all the different themed reading topics that come up during the year. And if that way we get a lot of diversity of authors and topics for the Naturalist Book Club, because just like every other topic, it seems like you can really just be reading white guys, white American or English guys. And it's been great fun to like sort of broaden that out and look for other authors and other countries and other, just other ways of looking at nature through other eyes. And it's really expanded my horizons greatly.